Hey friend, welcome back to Chronic Health Solutions. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like no matter how much effort you put into eating better or moving more, your metabolism just won't budge? The weight stays stuck, your energy feels drained, and you're left wondering, what is wrong with me? Here's the surprising truth. It might not be the food that you're eating or your workouts. It could actually be the quality of sleep that you're getting. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how poor sleep slows down your metabolism and what you can do to flip that switch back on. Let's get started. Welcome to Chronic Health Solutions. If you're more than just a tired mom, I'm talking trying to make it through the day without crashing by noon, you're not alone. I'm Ashley, a wife, mom, and certified health coach. I have been where you are, battling chronic health symptoms and chronic illness, things like brain fog, joint pain, and fatigue that made me wonder if I'd ever feel like myself again. After uncovering root causes like stress, poor sleep, and hormone imbalance, I found simple health routines to begin to feel better, one simple habit at a time. Keeping up with your kids is not impossible. Pop in your earbuds and take a break from the chaos. It's you time. Living with chronic illness or chronic symptoms can feel like you're always falling short, behind on the laundry, behind on your to-do list, behind on who you used to be. You try to push through, but your body keeps saying no, and it's exhausting physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But here's the truth. You don't need a total life overhaul to start feeling better. You just need a way forward that meets you where you are. Join me for the Conquer Chronic Symptoms Challenge, a free live hour where you can stop surviving and start feeling better again, even with chronic illness. You'll walk away with simple rhythms that reduce stress, boost energy, reduce brain fog, and finally start feeling like yourself again, one doable step at a time. To join us, go to conquer.ashleybraden.com, or you can find the link in the show notes below. I can't wait to see you there. There was a time, and I've had this struggle off and on, especially after becoming a mom, where I just would have bouts of restless nights or getting very little sleep. I can even remember a time, probably within the last couple of years, whenever I would feel like I had slept all night, but then I would have to drag myself out of bed every morning feeling groggy and exhausted, feeling like I really hadn't slept enough, but I was determined I was going to eat well and squeeze some kind of movement into my day. I was doing all of the right things, but my metabolism just did not seem to be responding or didn't seem to care that I was doing all of the right things. The scale wouldn't move, my clothes weren't fitting any better, and I started to ask myself, is my metabolism broken? Maybe nothing is going to work for me anymore. I'm getting older, I'm, in my mid-30s, and maybe this is just the way it is. And if you have been there, you know how defeating that can feel, just to be like, okay, why am I doing all the right things and nothing seems to be working? But once I learned how to really focus on deep sleep, because it impacts insulin and how insulin controls metabolism, it all made sense. My body was not broken, it was protecting me, and I have been working to improve my sleep, especially my deep sleep. And what I've noticed is I'm starting to see a shift in my metabolism as well. Okay, so let's talk about what is causing this, what is going on. So we know that there is a connection between sleep and then cortisol. So when you don't sleep well, your stress hormone cortisol is going to rise. If you are chronically stressed, then that means that your cortisol levels are staying high chronically. And whenever you are having consistent high cortisol, it is going to make your cells resistant to insulin, which means that sugar can't get into your cells easily to be burned and used up for energy. So instead, it's going to get stored. That makes it much harder for your body to release weight, even if you're eating healthy. You've heard of insulin resistance. This is where cortisol plays an impact and a role into that. So let's talk about how deep sleep really is what we want to aim for. Missing just a few nights of deep restorative sleep can drop your insulin sensitivity by 20 to 30%. What that basically means is that your metabolism is going to be sluggish and drained almost instantly. So if you are noticing you're habitually having issues getting deep sleep, then this is where you want to look at, am I also struggling with signs of insulin resistance? Do I have belly fat? That's also a sign of high cortisol levels. What is going on here, and what can I do to really help? And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Okay, the other way that not getting enough sleep or good quality sleep impacts your weight is the fact that poor sleep is going to lower your leptin which is a hormone that is responsible for telling your body that you're full, and it's going to raise ghrelin, which is the hormone that is going to tell you, hey, we need to eat. It's time to eat right now. So you have lower leptin, which is basically the hormone saying, hey, we're full, and you have an increased appetite. So you're noticing, okay, I'm hungry all the time, I'm craving carbs, and I'm fighting this uphill battle because I want to eat well, but I'm not sleeping well, and then I'm noticing I'm really having these carby, sugar cravings. And what I want to encourage you is this is not because of weak willpower, because you don't care or anything like that. It's just because your body biologically has been rewired overnight or over the consistent nights of you not getting enough sleep. And I know this can seem like it really feels unfair. You're showing up, you're doing your best, and your body just does not seem to be responding to maybe even things that you were noticing results from before. I know I've had that happen personally too. Here's the good news though. Your metabolism is not broken. It is just waiting for the right signals, and sleep is one of the most powerful signals that you can give it. So let's talk about some ways that you can begin to shift things to improve your sleep habits, and then also by result of that, improve your metabolism. The first one is you're going to want to keep a consistent sleep rhythm or routine. So going to bed at the same time and waking up around the same time most days. I've seen a lot of people will say, even on the weekends, try to keep as consistent of a schedule as possible. This is one sometimes I do well with, and then sometimes I struggle more on the weekends, but as much as possible, try to keep that schedule consistent. Number 2, you want to protect deep sleep. Deep sleep is so important. And we talked about that earlier. So you want to create some kind of a wind down ritual. Dim the lights, avoid blue lights an hour before bed, stretch, pray, read, just so your body is getting that signal that it's time to rest, and you can make sure you're getting to bed at a decent time in order to get enough sleep so that you can get into that deep sleep state. Okay, number 3, be mindful of food timing. So we really want to aim for being done with eating any kind of food at least a couple of hours before bed to give, 1, your body time to digest all of that food before you lay down, and then also to give insulin a break. I have an episode about fasting where we talk about like a gentle overnight fast, and I will try to remember to drop that in the show notes, but really it's just about giving that gentle, 12, 14 hour fast so that insulin has a time to have a break. Your body can digest, rest, restore, all of that without having to be digesting food. Okay, number 4, and this one I find it can be a little tricky, and I'm going to give you, if you feel like this is too much, I'm going to give you a tweak that you could start doing and work your way up to this. Okay, add an hour of sleep if you can. Even 1 more hour of sleep can make insulin more effective and then wake your metabolism back up. Now, I understand going to bed an hour earlier when your body, your circadian rhythm is not set to that can be very difficult. So I would encourage you, bump it back 15 minutes. So 15 minutes for a week, then do another 15 minutes, then another until you get to that hour mark. Try that and see how that goes. Okay, so this is your homework for this week. This is a short, just like let's get to it episode. I don't want you to change a single thing about your food or exercise. But I want you to pick one of those sleep habits that I just shared, stick with it for 7 days, and then notice what happens with your energy, with cravings, and just how your body feels overall. Of course, you're not likely to drop a bunch of weight. Resetting metabolism, it takes time. But you might notice a drop in cravings. You might notice an increase in energy levels. And then I want you to come over, after you've done that, or in the process of it, come over to our free Facebook community and share how it's going for you. I will have that linked down in the show notes below so you can find us. And I just want to remind you too, that even though, it often feels like your metabolism is broken, it really isn't. It's just waiting for you to give it the right tools and what it needs to begin to reset itself and rev back up. All right, friends, that is all I have for this episode. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back next time. Hey friend, I hope you found today's episode helpful. If you did, would you take a minute to share it with another mom who's struggling with chronic symptoms? And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to me to know this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to go tackle those snack requests, and remember that a short walk, even if the kids turn it into a race, still counts as self-care. Keep chasing those little wins, even when it feels messy, you're making progress. The information shared in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. I'm not a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to treat or diagnose any condition. You're the expert on your body. Listen to it and reach out to a trusted provider for support.